Welcome everyone, this is Evelyn. It's 4:56 on the clock. Pick up sticks. The 4 is the Emperor, 56 is the 2 of Swords. Being your knowing, keeping your energy clear. All right, we have my 4-deck read today, and then an abbreviated read for the Twin Flame. It's usually 7 decks, but I only used 3 decks. My SIRIAN STARSEED deck, the Rider-Waite Mini, and the Numerology deck for a quick read. So it's not as long as usual today. And we're going to take a few deep breaths first, and then we'll get right into this. Some interesting energies came up yesterday and today, and we'll talk about that as well. We'll roll the die and do oracle cards at the end as usual. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath if you'd like to. Take a deep breath. Another deep breath. One more deep breath. Transmute, transform, transcend, and clear. Sending lots of blessings to you guys. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you have fun today on Halloween. And thank you for being here with me. So the first one we're getting into is the 4-deck read. It's the Journey of Love, Metatron deck, the Nature's Whispers, and Shaman Dreams, which is a great combination. Very different energies. Some more feminine, some more masculine. The Nature's Whispers is very feminine. Shaman Dreams is more masculine. Metatron is more spiritual. And then the Journey of Love, it's a really good combination. So let's go ahead and roll the die first. Yeah. So today is Halloween. It's October 31st, 2022. So the 31 is the 5 of Wands, which can be conflict, but also can be games and sports and the pursuit of happiness. The day also adds up to 47 today, which is the 7 of Cups, which is, for me, synchronicities. It's also choices and confusion. If there's too many choices, it could be heaven in your eyes as well. But it's a lot of different emotional things, perhaps a lot of different people to deal with. So on this 31st of October 2022, Halloween, what is the message for the Twin Flames? All right, we have little Mercury over here, so communication's big. Along with Mercury is Virgo and Gemini. We also have Sagittarius right here. Virgo and Sag are both mutable. And then we have the 6 of the Lovers, which is Gemini again. It can be Cancer energies in this too for June. So a lot of mutable energies there. So at least Virgo, Gemini, and Sagittarius, which are all mutable. So a lot of change or a lot of flexibility being represented here by the twins. And before I show you the first read, I just want to show you this picture. I was looking at it again from yesterday. Yesterday was a whole story on its own, but in this picture of the sun yesterday, as you can see, there is a footprint above the sun. Okay, and there's actually the energy of 2 footprints, okay, and going across this big cloud above, but look what is, look at the energy that's across the cloud. There's literally a hand there, which I didn't notice yesterday. I noticed the people across the other side, but I didn't realize how clear all the people were, and very much meetings were coming up in my other pictures I was processing today, which you can check Instagram if you'd like to. I posted a whole bunch of pictures today from the clouds. And there's definitely messages that will come up in that. So it definitely looks like they're all dressed in black, and there's a hand in front of the group. You know, it's like it can be, you know, a government group, it can be a jury, but again, they are all in black, and there's one hand above the rest, and there's Jesus' feet, like approaching the line to cross over the line, right, to bridge to the other side, so to speak. Okay, so, and in the pictures, like I said today, there's a lot of group convening that was coming up. What also came up in the pictures yesterday was the divine rose. This is literally the sun. It was coming up like a rose. And there's also a lot of people in that picture as well. There's dark men in black all the way around it. There's a picture of the heart. Let's see if I can get a better picture of that, because it's much more colorful than white. I think the light is just too bright right there. Oh well. Anyway, it looks like there's like, you can see like 3 hearts in there. It's not just one, and they're all different colors. Here is the read for today. This is the 4-deck read. Okay, for those of you not familiar, the underlying energies are to the left. I've dealt 3 cards for each deck. Sometimes they'll come out individually, and then like this deck, they came out together here. At the end, there's always a pile that I'm guided to pull out to count, but I also use those cards in the message as well. Again, we have Journey of Love up top, Metatron, Nature's Whispers, and Shaman Dreams, and I'm just going to pull them up a little bit so you can see the cards better. Okay. 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 So this one was done yesterday all day, and the reason why it was all day is because I couldn't find my daughter yesterday. So I'm not going to go into much about it, but I ended up calling the police because I didn't know where she was, and her friends didn't know where she was either, and she was out late and all that kind of stuff, as a mother would worry. So everything is good, but I just wanted to bring it up because that's the kind of energies that came up yesterday, and there could be some testing going on to see if you lose your cool or if you stay balanced. And as well today, I just got a new rock in the mail that I bought, and I was just noticing before the video the similarity in a shape to a rock from Shasta. When I was spreading my parents' ashes in 21, we did a little bit of a drive with my family, and we went through Shasta on the way to spreading my parents' ashes in Oregon. And we stopped on the side of the road at Shasta because I wanted to pick up a rock, and it was the rock I just randomly picked up was exactly the same shape, this is the rock, which is exactly the same shape as my pinky nail was broken. Okay, so when I picked up this rock and got in the car, I was holding it with my hand and realized, oh my God, it's exactly the shape of my broken pinky nail. And then when I got this rock today, I looked at it, and I don't usually look at this rock because it's just put away. I looked at the shape of it. I'm like, oh, that reminds me of the rock of my fingernail. That was the same shape as the broken fingernail. So I pulled up the rock today, and literally it finishes the rock. That was so weird, all right? And this is from Shasta Energy, and this is Larimar. But again, you see that, and also it fits, it's exactly the same like angle as the top here too, the same size and everything. So there's definitely a reference to Shasta here. I don't know if there's anything specific going on over there. All right, so anything that, you never know what's going to come up during my reads, so maybe some more information about that stuff will come up. But I started this 4-deck read at 10:28 yesterday, which is the Wheel of Fortune, and the 28, which is the 2 of Wands, the Twin Flames, or Choice of Path. That was the Journey of Love deck. At 10:29 was the Metatron deck. 10:30 was Nature's Whispers, and at 10:33 I cut the Shaman deck. Excuse me. So the 4 piles that came up for the 4 decks were 6, 20, 12, and 10. So that was the number that came up 6, 20, 12, 10. It's a very long number. So normally there wouldn't be anything in gematria for a number that big. But the energy around that was the lover's wake-up call to wise destiny, a family decision to hang in high vibe. Each of the decks came out in a certain way. When I got the pile of 6, for example, it came out 1, then 2, then 3, but I was definitely being guided to pull out more. So 1, 2, 3 jump came up for Journey of Love to the 6. For Metatron, it was 18 and 2 to the 20. And then Nature's Whispers was 3, then 7, then 2 for the 12. And Shaman Dreams was 2, then 4, then 1, then 3, like the spiral, 2, 4, 1, 3 for the 10 for Shaman Dreams, which made up the 6, 20, 12, 10. So just so you know what I'm referencing when I start my messages. There's also an energy of the 6201210 of 201 and 210. So 6, 201, 210, and then 62, 01, 210. So again, the balancing on either side of the numbers there. A lot of 01s and 201, 210 energies. So starting it out was the 1 to the 2 to the 3 to the 6. So 1, 2, 3 jump, which is interesting too, because 1, 2, 3 is 12/3, which is the way 12 is written in numerology. So jump to love, family, and community. And I was being shown an emphasis on the first letters of each word, L, F, and C for love, family, community. For lovers and the spiral to God, the wisdom of the Empress Mother also coming up here. So LFC came up. And so I was asking, why do I need to know about those capital letters? And for me, there are 3 of my capital letters that I use a lot, because the L is the right angle, the F is the digamma, or 2 rays. F is also 5 for me, expansion and contraction, or reflecting in the middle. And then the C is the whispering bench, or it could be the Christ consciousness as well. So the 666 came up there too. Because of the 18. And then the 6 coming up as the love, family, community prior to the 18. In a positive way, not in a negative way. But the 18 was coming up as the 1. Remember, the line is never a line, it's always an arc. So it's really just 2 points that are arcing together. And then the 8, which of course is the dance, the strength, the manifestation of dreams. And then 2 more cards came up. So that was the purple moon, out of time and out of space, because remember, there is no such thing as 80 minutes. So if you get a colon and the 8, it's being symbolic of being out of time and space, so out of this 3D dimension. The purple moon out of time and space from a higher perspective and grace. It was interesting too, because my mother's middle name is Grace, but I have a great aunt who's passed away a long time ago, but her first name was Grace. My mother was named after her, and she was coming up, and we called her Nunu. And Nunu came up in a definition this week as well. And I was being guided back to that same definitions. So Pisces, Cancer, and the King of Cups were coming up here. And bypassing the sun, the heat, exposure, perhaps ego and the 15 minutes of fame, to the divine feminine high priestess, to enlightenment. The 3 to 7 to 2 was the Empress in the Chariot, abundance and water ascension. She and her vehicle, the divine feminine within the masculine. I always talk about the chariot as the feminine within the masculine ascending. So here's coming up, the chariot's coming up as water, because your body is mostly water. And with enlightenment, right before this too, wholeness was coming up as well. But the Empress, the Chariot, abundance and water ascension, she and her vehicle, the divine feminine within the masculine, to see new perspectives, to hang and be wise. The King of Cups, unconditional love of 2. And then the spiral of 2, 4, 1, and 3. The spiral of the High Priestess, the Emperor and the Magician, and the Empress, which are the first 4 cards of the deck, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, the 2 and the 4, the space between, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So you have the 2 and the 4, those spaces between for the 1 to 3 jump. Around and around we go. Where we end up, nobody knows. The High Priestess, Divine Feminine, and the Holy Grail of Abundance, the Holy Mother, was coming up here. The Queen of Wands transitions or takes a leap of faith to their destiny. Twins wake-up call to wisdom and that high vibe destiny. The 1 to 3 jump or leap out of time space, dancing and weaving, unraveling for 2. The source leap to 2 for 3, and then leaping back in the dance back to 2 and 3 in a chariot for 2. 2 to 4, or 2, 3, 4, shut the door. 4, 1 to 3, 1, 2, 3, the quantum leap. And then QRA was coming up. And that is what was coming up with QRA was quantum wisdom and the quantum leap rocket. And QRA, in looking it up, is a higher state of readiness, right, for military and NATO regarding aircrafts, ready to go in case of emergencies. So QRA, and that was very much the energy that came up for me yesterday. And what you need in an emergency, something that was important that the police asked me was for the license plate. And I didn't have it handy. I wasn't sure where I might have it in the house or in my emails. So it's important to have that stuff aside, right? Because that's the first thing someone's going to look for. If a car is missing, they need the VIN or the license plate number. So simple things like that you may not be thinking of, and they may not be easily accessible in that time of emergency. I'm just relaying that because that came up for me yesterday. So station and CB, the QRA was also coming up as kind of like a station or CB, like what's your handle? My handle is. That's a code for that. Also, Hieros Gamos was coming up here as HG, the dance of the spiral, and 44 to 6 equals 8. Obviously not mathematically, but that's the way this was coming up here. Because the 6 is the G, or the spiral, right? The 44, which also can come up as the 52, the Queen of Swords, the Lady of Light, or Hercules, her harvest. The 44 to the 6, which is the G of the spiral, equals the 8 of the dance. So the spiral comes up as your spiral to source, equals the 8. So bringing the 44 to the 8, the higher vibration. So 6, 20, 12, and 10, God calls. You wake up, even if you're on vibrate. It was just a funny message that came through for me yesterday. So 1, 2, so a few 3 or 4 digit numbers came up. So I looked them up in Gematria. 1, 2, 3 came up as Abraham, Hope, TLC, and then 1, 2, 3, 6 also I looked up was the first entry was Andrew Tate, who's a bad boy. I don't know much about him, but if that might mean something to somebody. The third entry was Most Divine Birth. The 6th entry was Ariel, Christ Aquarius Sun. And the 6th entry was the glorious magnificence of the 888. That was significant for me there, 1, 2, 3, 6. Number 182 came up as TRB, the word Negro, and then legalism. After that was the 3rd entry. 372 also came up, Douglas, broken, nose, should, and then the 5th and 6th entries for 372 were Tartaria and Rothschild. And Tartaria was a like a CIA document from 1957 where the Russians had rewritten their history to show themselves in a better light. And this CIA document that came up from 1957 was literally proof of that from this website. So you can look up Tartaria if you want more information about that. 372 and then 2413 came up. The first entry was Matthew 5:16. Their salvation is dependent on the mercy of God. Please do not input foolishness into this system. And then the Illuminati are trying to save Earth. All right, so that was a weird one. And then the 8th entry was February 29th, but written out. And then 201 was Psalm, Mars, Tiger, and QAnon. 210 was Thebes, Trackback, Dabar, Elohim, Dabar, Elohim, and then UK. So 1, 2, 3 was also coming up as January, February, and March. March is very much coming up as a big transition here. There's a big leap in March, universally. And I was getting this energy of a leap in March through August, and then again February to March. So it's coming up like to 8-2, and then the next year is coming up a big leap from February to March to 7-2 to 4-13, which is April 13. Or again, 8-2 and 7-2, which reference July and August, which are the Caesars, right? Julius Caesar and Augustus Caesar. And then February 4th was coming up with April 13th and January 3rd, but January 3rd may be the energy of 1, 2, 3 that's coming up in the ending this energy. Magenta had said that the last big push of the year would last till about January 3rd or 4th, around there. So another picture I wanted to show you too. Teddy chased a cat away from the deck yesterday, which I've never seen before. So that was another energy that came up you might want to know about. And oh, this came up on the deck. I just looked over. I had my camera outside on the deck, and I just looked over, and it was literally sitting on this picture, which is like literally the word love broken. So the L is broken off. So I thought that was kind of a cool picture. The underlying energy for the first was at 12:10, which is the Hanging Man and the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune. So the 12 of the self-initiation, which is the back of the card for the Journey of Love deck. So encompassing what the deck is all about. The 25 of Passion, 22 of the Leap of Faith, and 48 of the Sky Dancers. Seeing things in a new way, awakened by the Knight of Wands with a love for life to get you going, that fire being lit under your butt. The Fool's Journey, Leap of Faith, and then 12/25 was coming up, or Christmas, through February 2nd, and surrendering through 4/8. Walking in the chaos, inspired to walk that invisible tightrope with wand in hand, that leap of faith. The Sky Dancers surrender. The Sophia, remember Sky is Sophia's KY. K is the energy of Y, the 0 point. And then Kentucky Bluegrass was coming up. Orion faces his dragon's breath, right? So Orion and Taurus both are shaped like the letter K. And it's always been coming up now for me as Orion facing his dragon's breath, his inner dragon. Or, it could be a positive or negative for Orion, depending on how you see Orion. But again, Orion has the twins on either shoulder. Orion faces his dragon's breath and the Pleiadian tail, which is the end of this dragon. Not the dragon constellation, but this is something else I was guided to one day. I ended up on somebody else's site about this dragon constellation that they see, but it isn't an official constellation. But it's Orion facing his dragon's breath with a Pleiadian tail, right at the tip of the tail is the Pleiades, where Sophia is sine wave of Ophiuchus, which cus means more or exponential, of the Ophiuchus, which is the serpent bearer. Taming the Kundalini, or Sophia to the nth degree, Sophi, the Holy Grail to the nth degree, exponentially. At 12:21 then was this information right here. So reflective in the multi-dimensional vortex, the ripple effect, the accordion or domino that pays it forward. Again, that energy of etheric pages or dimensions being flipped through. Back to the future. The Hanging Man inspired by the Knight of Wands to take that leap to surrender and dance together. And that was all coming up at around 12:21. At 12:24, which is the Hanging Man and the Queen of Wands, which is also Omega, which is the position of enlightenment in the chakra system, the underlying energy From the 40, which is the Page of Cups, the innocent love, and the void, after the communal dance is the 43 of the Three of Cups and the bride offering herself within the chaos of the cyclone. In the 64 of the sensual awakening to bliss and the 25 seed of the heart, the question mark, seeding a new perspective and inspiring movement, initiation of the alchemist. At 1227 is the Hanging Man and the Ace of Wands. The first energy here is the 3 of the Burning Hero in Rapture. The 12 and the 3 cards then came out, which again is the 12/3 of the Hanging Man and wisdom, of seeing new perspectives, of being the scapegoat at time, right? Because you see things differently than everybody else, but it's the correct way, right? The wise way. With 12 and 3 of the Hanging Man and the Empress Mother and the fire between, in the 42, or the 2 of Cups, of the blood dance, to get the heart going, to the 59, which is that 5 of Swords, the inner war, and to end that war within at the temple. Angels all lined up to go 2 by 2 to the foot of the altar. There are no words, for Lady Liberty says it all, as she lights the altar flame with her 3 keys, or sevens, or 3 sevens, which is 37 of unconditional love and spirits connecting with me, and the book of love, which she holds. The rolling stone and the rock-hard sword, which then reduces to ol, which means vast, tone, and then ak, word, which means as well as word, and then ol1, ol1, which is a hole, whether it's a W hole or H hole. It's also sweet one. And then CK, origin, because ORD means origin. So again, this is all coming from the rolling stone and the rock sword. So the CK origin, or Creek or Greek origin, and then any K path was the final interpretation of the last letters of each word. At 1234, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, shut the door, is the Hanging Man and the 8 of Wands, and that energetic exchange, or arrows of love. And the CK coming up as the whispering bench of the origin of the energy here, with the whispering bench being the 2 twins having their secret, exchange. The 1240 of the Hanging Man and the Page of Cups, together forever in the kingdom queendom of heaven on earth. The K and the Q of the King and the Queen is the energy of the Divine Masculine, and the Q is the leap of faith of the Divine Feminine. Heaven equals Hercules is Eve over Jesus, her harvest sheltering him. With 6 cards, remember there were 1, 2, and 3. 17 is her grace extended as the dream girl to the Knight of Pentacles swan, projecting heaven onto the crowd. At 1250, that's when I had to break. About 1230 to 144, where 144 is exactly when we heard from Jenna yesterday, when I was worried about where she was. And of course 144 is significant. 158 was the Magician, and the 58 of the 4 of Swords. The 26 of the Guardian of the Soul Family, which is the Page of Wands. And the 36 of the Atlas energy of the Cosmic Butterfly. And the Atlas transformation with the 54 Page of Swords, Earth Angel. The Page of Swords, the Universal Mercury preparations of the Alchemist. The Star and the Knight of Pentacles swan in heaven, as the Page of Wands is burdened by a message or lack thereof. Well, I wasn't thinking of it at the time, but yeah, that's what I was dealing with yesterday, right? So at 2:30 is the High Priestess, Divine Feminine, and the 30 of the Union, or home, with angelic boundaries coming up in the underlying energies. The 14 of the Temperance card and the 34 of the 8 of Wands, the ancestors' energetic exchange and showing appreciation and healing here. In the void, the walking away within, of the Om, the 30 symbol with the crown on top. Walking away within with the 25 of the Knight of Wands, with passion and love for life ignited. At 232 is the Divine Feminine and the Journey, and the first card out of the 23 of the King of Wands, the duality of the King of Wands and the Knight of Wands together here, and balance that's needed when there's too much fire. The 55 of the Shaman then came up, which is the red root chakra of the Shaman, of the balanced root energy, with the truth of safety, strength, and power, and the Knight of Wands throwing the King of Wands off balance when the Shaman came or called for help. The wake-up call to the 11 of justice, truth, and balance, to align with safety and listen and take note. With 18 plus 2 cards was 20, or romance for 2, the 20 of the cosmos reflecting you, the 9 of the hermit taking action where movement is needed and running with the big bird, the 42 of the 2 of cups going with the flow, and the 4 of letting go when it's time to release, the 6 of love, relationships, and harmony, the aqua rose gold mother's heart, the 42 of the 2 of cups and the spaces between the 4 and the 2, right? They're both the spaces between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The spaces between 2 and 4 to 6, and then 47, or 4 to 7. The 47 is that 7 of cups, but also it's the 4 to 7 sweet spot of the heart to the crown, the Thanksgiving or TG blessings and thanks, the heart to the crown sweet spot, and the 27 of the Ace of Wands of Metatron's rainbow bridge, or the 4D, to breathe and lift your wings. Remember, when you breathe, your lungs expand, it lifts your wings, literally. The 16 of the Tower and the sudden events, but the gold card is here, the Holy Grail, and gold references the old God, which is the ancient one. The 16 of sudden gold, or sudden event, to inspire, to lift your wings and take flight, to light up, to infinitum, to the ancient one. The 8 of the dance of leadership of Lady Liberty with flame and keys, the 7 of water for emotional well-being, and to keep you balanced, right? So that you always stay grounded when you're dealing with unexpected events. At 438, which is the Emperor and the Queen of Cups, the number 18 came up with Mother Earth, grounding the dolphin with the sun. And the 10, and again, the dolphin, who's always in the water, would then need to ground with the sun. So it just depends on who you are and the kind of environment you live in all the time. And what do you need to balance that? So it's not exactly the same for everybody. The 10 is that high vibe destiny, the new dawn, to welcome back, you guys, in a leap to the love, in Dance of the Dolphins. The new dawn, welcome back, leap to love in the Dance of the Dolphins at 0 point. To ground support in high vibe sun and phased array, and sign waving to the crown. The 5 of communications, to speak up and be heard. Not only be heard as in your voice, but be the heard, right? Be all equal. The message in a bottle that you are with Shell to bring peace. The 12 is the hanging man, to be wise and open a book. And I kept getting the book of love. So I opened my own notebook, the last one I completed, and it opened up to October 2nd. I didn't get any great messages for myself, but there may be a message here specifically for somebody. So I opened up to October 2nd, and the time at the top of the page was 717. And the page started talking about the 7 of Wands and the 7 of Cups. So it was very much about sovereignty and the 7s, which are coming up as keys in this read today. And above it says, at the top of the page, it talked about the Empress a little, and then the wife that was kidnapped, and it was probably talking about the movie I've been watching. Oh, I think it was that show with the kids who do spell work. It was a movie where the grandmother was who did spell work, but it skipped a generation and the mother didn't get the talents, but the girl is now in school now with others, but now she's realizing she has this ability. So maybe that's somebody out there needs to know that, because that's what you're experiencing right now. So I looked up 7117 and 717 because they both came up here. And with 7117, City of Downey, Downey City Library came up. Capital V, small v, capital X, lowercase ix, and then capital L, XXII, all lowercase. The second entry was Stephen James Dishon was the lead strategist of the Euritius Unholy War on Zeus. The third entry said Decode Zeus is the only so-called Greek mythology god that's not serpent-possessed, the only one who did not sell out to Satan. Number 717 came up as Army of Islam, Naku, and then NINJAHHAAI came up as the third entry, and then Alien Cloaking in the Electromagnetic Field came up as the third entry. The 12th entry was the Triumph of God. So I opened the book again to see if there was another message, and it opened up to October 15th this time. And the number 720 was at the top, which was saying as a message that I'd given you guys about 720 being 2 complete turns, right? Because 720 is 360 and 360. So 2 complete turns was coming up, and that could mean 2 years, but also is the 5 of the 5th entry that came up there on that prior page was Q7 space 4U. The word U is written out, but you can put the U for the Holy Grail there as well. So the Q is the quantum leap of the sweet spot 7 to 4, but that could be spiraling back to come back around again for the Holy Grail. I'm just getting that now. So there's that energy of, it's not anything negative, it's just that you're spiraling in the back part of the spiral, the retrograde part of the spiral, in order to gain momentum for that final push to the Holy Grail in this quantum leap now. So some kind of quantum leap this year, which may be coming now or in March, I don't know, but March was coming up as big. So again, 15 came up, which is the shadow or the devil, and then that nu came up in the word nu, which N-U apostrophe U means dog, and of course dog is the reverse of God. And grace was coming up, and meditate. To be wise with the journey of the tree of life, the 32 of the orangutan to the gold, or the orange to gold, the ego to the ancient one, the 40 of the sweetheart, the page of cups, the evolution of birthing the new of the sweetheart, the 22 on the fool's journey with Archangel Sandalphon, who's with you now, serenading you, with the 36, but that came up as 360 as well, the full circle. The 36 of the Atlas energy in the weight of the world, of the inner child, to make sure you're tapping in with your inner child to hear and know me. The 46 of the 6 of Cups, the inner children and the outer children, the authentic self, who are you today? The 51 of the King of Swords then came up, which is the card of WAITE, of purity and innocence. And at 504, which is the Hierophant and the Emperor, the leap in the journey of the sweetheart to Atlas with the 6 of Cups and the King of Swords. So it's like mapping out the directions to get to the sweetheart or the inner children with the King of Swords to purify. Calling all angels to deliverance is what I was getting right there. At 605 is the Lovers and the 5 of Freedom, change and expansion, and the Hierophant. It's the 6 of the Lovers and the 5 of the Hierophant with the space between. That's 605. The underlying energies with 14, with assurance that family will always be there. The 12 of expansion in handfasting, so they won't disappear. Grounding the etheric and then assisting little butterflies in their travels to independence and illumination, so helping your kids or other little or vulnerable ones. The 6 is the big picture of healing the root in order to flower the crown. The 3 to celebrate differences of land and sea, of horse and dolphin, of rainbow and blue-greens. So again, rainbow is the whole spectrum, but if you're staying balanced in the middle, you can stay in the blue-green as well without touching the outlying energies at all. So the 15 is the shadow of catching your breath and grounding after shadow work. The 39 of the Knight of Cups with a clear endeavor to be love, and the 22 of the Fool with an open heart to take that leap of faith. At 617 is the Lovers, and the 17 of the Star, where the 11 was the first card here in making a decision to align, or remember, line is actually an arc. So to align or arc or fan in the phased array, the 42 of the Two of Cups, to let love and be lighter and blush by the Ace of Wands inspiration and childlike spirit. At 622 is the Lovers and the Fool. On the Fool's journey, the underlying energy of the 44 to seek beauty, which also can be the 52 of the Queen of Swords, which is Lady Liberty here. The 32 of the journey to trust yourself, and the 41 of the Holy Grail, the Ace of Cups, to be in service to others, to love yourself first, spiritual love, and then new love, which can be anyone. Candle gazing, remote view, and feeding the little ones as the octopus teacher. The October opus, as today is the last day. Hercules' journey, or her harvest's journey to the Holy Grail, or multidimensional living, with 3 keys. The Lady of Light to ignite the beauty within, the Lady of Night to trust your own understanding, and the Lady in service to the vulnerable, the mother, who would die for her young, like the octopus teacher. Receive love, trust, and then give love. And that's all you need to know, and so on. 7 cards came up here, and Spirit's connecting with me. The 37 of the King of Cups. The vehicle of unconditional love is always the ideal course of action. To bridge your differences with the 4 of stability. To pause, to stabilize with the trunk. I wrote truck by accident, but there's no accidents. That might be a message for someone. So pause to stabilize with the trunk. The little fairy, and he, mate, and pate. So instead of the matriarchal and patriarchal energies, it was coming up as the little fairy touching the trunk of the tree, which is the mate and pate tree arcs. Okay, where pate is communication, or the crown. Either which way, the matriarch and patriarch are both coming up as the trunk of the tree for the little ones to find their stability, right? They're touching the trunk of the tree, the little fairy, and the mate and pate tree arcs. The King of Cups and the Emperor are here, of unconditional love and control, plus the 21 of completion, the fresh approach to touch base when becoming independent, between the city and country perhaps. The 45 of the 5 of Cups in purging to empower, and the 30 of home and union, of adventure bridging 2 worlds with communication or a commonality, or again, one who is loved by both sides can bring both together. The 49 of the 9 of Cups in heightening your vitality by getting your wish with it, which is self-love and self-satisfaction and self-care and nurture. Self-satisfaction to get your wish with the 24 Queen of Wands and Omega, the wild child mermaid or Andromeda riding Pegasus, the seahorse, to be their best self always. The third eye princess with her rainbow crown. Remember we talked about the other day where the Queen of Wands is the third eye wearing the crown. The third eye princess with rainbow hair is now coming up as her crown. She's very comfortable underwater here with 2 cards here. The Knight of Wands, 25, blue baby, sending kisses to light your fire and keep your dreams alive. So again, that could be a Pleiadian energy who's coming through to you. It also could be someone that you lost who's coming through to you to keep you going. The 48 of the 8 of Cups walking away and within, of hope and happiness in walking away and within. the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands, the wild ones of hope and happiness, with rainbow hair in the age of Aquarius, the emotion of laughter, and setting your hair free. Remember, your hair is a connection as well. So hope and happiness was coming up as Ope and Appy, which is pure open teacher and father-in-law. So someone's father-in-law may be significant in helping them with something here. And then PE and then PPI came up, which is thread of pixels per inch, or positive polarity items. With the E and then PI, which we know pi is pi, and lowercase e for me is also the cracked egg, or shared evenly, with the capital E, one equal and congruent to the other. And the pi, of course, is the circle with a line down the middle, shared exactly, evenly. The E with pi, or epi, was also coming up, which is epinephrine, right, in an emergency to bring you back to life, or the axe. So it'll either bring you back to life or you'll get the axe. So epidural and episiotomies were also coming up with that at 652, which is the Lovers and the Queen of Swords, the Lady of Light. So birthday wishes and Halloween dress up, and helping others to grow, and seeing how far you've come, or maybe will go. And it was funny too. Yesterday was the first time, Teddy's a puppy, and it was the first time I wasn't looking at him, but it was the first time I saw him actually get aroused. And it was the first time he went out back on his own without us. So there's this coming of age energy that's coming out with that. And that was coming up with the independence of our children as well. So that's why I'm bringing that up. Some kind of coming of age. And that can be for an adult as well. To see how far, birthday wishes and Halloween dress up, helping others to grow, and seeing how far you've come. Her harvest, or Hercules, of the path of love, and what a long, strange trip it's been. And then they were taking me back to the 60s, to the 2020s, which is hindsight, right, as 2020. Reaching the end of 21 to 45 to purge, right, at old 45. Where are you going, Billy? That was the record that I liked when I was in junior high school. There may be a move or moving or addressing home. So you may be moving home or addressing things at home in an adventure to heighten your vitality. For the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands, your inner hope and happiness, air children who set us free. But there's also wand energy coming up there as well. It's not air children. I'm sorry, I wrote our children. I was wondering why I wrote air when there was fire right there. But our children who set us free. At 6:59, which is the moment before 7, is the underlying energy of the 19. And prior to that was the 33 of the cool cat. The 19 of the sun. And again, the 33 is Christ, so it's Christ in the sun. And the falling angel, blinded by the light of the 52, Queen of Swords, who's been straddling worlds. In the 55, truth of the farther gate, a bold step forward from gate to gate, G-A-I-T, and sun, S-U-N, to S-O-N. The shaman with a bit of a cowboy gait after traversing the Grand Canyon with sun in the hot sun. Getting into Mary Magdalene's cave is like accessing the bank vault with multiple locks on the way in, on top of being blinded by her light. It's really funny how it came up. 35 is the wounded warrior who lost their way or lost their compass. 11 to 11, getting back to integrity right at the 11th hour, where 11 to 11 is today, 10:31, with the Samhain and Halloween. In the West Wing, which is interesting because I just told you about all the people in black congregating. So I don't know what that's all about. So that's obviously at the White House, the West Wing. Halloween in the West Wing, on watch of discernment. With the 16 of sudden events, or the Tower, or sudden emptiness and the need to fill up. With the 64 of woodwives, adapting well to this, right? Being very adaptable, and we have all the mutable energies coming out here today. Learning how to not get really upset when sudden things come up or sudden changes that aren't what you want. You know, it can be something simple, but maybe it's just something you didn't want to happen, but not getting triggered by those simple things that we know are going to come up in our everyday. So getting back to integrity at the 11th hour at 11 before 11:11 on Halloween is the West Wing on watch of discernment, with sudden emptiness and the need to fill up, the woodwives adapting well with the sky dancers to surrender and go within. And then the first letter of all the cards right there was Loews. It was Loews. So I don't know why that's coming up, but maybe you guys can let me know in the comments. At 7:09 is the Chariot and the Hermit with space between, or Cancer and Virgo with space between. The first card out is the 23 of Fortune's Wheel. That's the King of Wands. Of 2 and 3 with the King of Wands, which 2 and 3 can be two feminines, the High Priestess and the Empress, or also the Divine Feminine and abundance, or coming together. Or the High Priestess and Empress of luck and right timing, and the 28 of the Twin Flames and the Hollow Bone of humbling oneself to be more teachable, like the Moose and the number 9 Hermit, the Green Moth who dances on one foot very well because they are very green and balanced. And then the two cards came up from the 1, 2, 1, 3 spiral of cards. The 57 and 53 came up first, which is the unmarked trail of the labyrinth and the squeeze of getting screwed in separation and revelations, and the Knight of Swords, the curious stranger with laser hands, thinking of dipping his sparks in the water with a kiss from a rose. With 60, 39, 59, and 40, in a peaceful metox of the Tyon, which is Tiger Lioness totem, the watchers who blend as one into one color. The Knight of Cups in their metox of the Wailing Tree, or the War Within, ending the inner war with the Page of Cups in a think group or think tank. And the Page of Cups may be bringing some fresh energy into the group. And remember, the tree is the family, not just the one person. So the one card came up was just the number 4, which has to do with stability and the Emperor. And it's the cat ER pillar here, or caterpillar, and an opportunity to practice urgency or emergency skills. With 3 cards here, 25, 34, and 42, the Knight of Wands in the Garden of Venus for rest and renewal, in energetic exchange of the lay of the land from the King of the Hill, who's now recharged, with the 42 Two of Cups, with the netcaster, who catches them when they fall, as their preparations now have come to fruition. So it's saying because they built the net, the other person didn't get hurt when they fell. 3, and Spirit's connecting with me, the 3 of the Empress Burning Hero and the King of Wands with balance needed in a rotation or fire up with the truth and balance of alignment in decision making. With the 23 King of Wands and the wheel in their favor, 12:30 p.m. then coming up. I think that was the end of it, actually. Yeah, so the Burning Hero of the Empress and the King of Wands, or the abundance of the King of Wands, who's off balance and then needing balance, in rotation of firing up. So it's like showing me this rotation of he ignites her to get inspired, and then her reaction to that throws him back off balance. So then he has to get balance again by lighting her fire to give some of his fire away. It's going in a circle between the twins. So truth and balance of alignment and decision making, you have to think of not only yourself but your other as well. The 23 of the King of Wands with the wheel now in their favor. Okay, so that is the whole read. So, all right, we're at 54 minutes here, which is the Page of Swords, the Universal Mercury. And we're talking about alchemy again today. And now we're going to go to the read on the table. So this usually is my 7-deck read, but it's an abbreviated read today. It's only 3 decks. which I told you in the beginning. And so here's the read from above, so you can see it. Okay. So this was cut and dealt at 9:02 p.m. That's the 9 of the Hermit, the 2 of the High Priestess. And I finished clarifying at 9:18, which happens to be my birthday. So that may be a reference to your birthday at 9:18, which is the Hermit and the 18 of the Moon. The major arcana here were Luna, which is the moon, and Shadow, which is the devil. And prior to the read is solar deity, or the sun. So we had the sun and the moon coming up as the major arcana, and the shadow, which makes sense. It's Halloween and we're between eclipses. So we have the sun and the moon and the shadow aspect of Halloween. And the higher self and starseed came up after the read. Starseed is like the Fool. So we have 3 wands, 2 pentacles, 2 cups, and 2 swords. So we had 3, 2, 2, 2. So we had triple twos coming up right there with the 32 and the 22 of the journey of the Fool. We had double 5s, double 8s, and double 10s, which is the 55 of the Truth and Excalibur, the 88 of the Dance Between the Twins, and then the 10-10 of keeping that vibe really high with 1, 2, 3 jump, the Take That Leap of Faith. We also had 34 of the 8 of Wands, the Arrows of Love, the 45 of the 5 of Cups, the Purging card, the 57 of the 3 of Swords, the 58 of the 4 of Swords, the 89 of Phi, and then 9, 10 begin again. So the code line was all about teddy bear, love, and manifestation. And the number 38 on the code line, which is the Queen of Cups. And the interpretations from the code line came up as such. Sudden event with digamma. Again, the digamma is the twin gamma rays or the twin flames. It also means 4 here. Sheep and fairy also coming up under this energy, or twin ray attachment to the high road. And again, the E, the capital E of 1 equal and congruent to the 8 of Pentacles, which is working, being creative, or, getting your ducks aligned. There's that alignment energy there. And the dance of the purge and IV reflection. So, like continuous reflection. To see fee 3. See fee 3. However you take it is the way you're supposed to get it, okay? San Francisco could come up there as well. But C fee 3. I was just getting flee, fly, flow, vista. I don't know why, but that's coming up. The 8 of Pentacles in working to align with the digamma waves, the di or 2 gamma rays or twin flame rays. And the IV was coming up with the 5 of IV change, being able to go with the flow, with love and manifestation, perhaps plural selves that you are, twin flames, right? You have to think of the other, not just yourself. The plural selves, eat, pray, and dance. Eat, but it came up not as pray, it came up as eat, play, and dance. The 8 of, or dance of the purge. The Christ-like IV twin rays. Sudden bad weather may come up, or sheepish or fairy person, or 38 Queen of Cups of crystals, or Christ-like, or purging, or a musical attack, like a music that comes in very strongly. Or yesterday I create. Yesterday. So that's coming up. Life's such an easy game to play. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday. So again, that may be some of the energies that a lot of people will be feeling. In a sudden event where individuals eat, pray, work, and reflect, or eat and play and work and reflect, because reflect is pray. So eat, play, work, reflect with love and manifestation, expand love and manifestation. So we start out with the 3 of Wands reversed, which is looking back, again, yesterday, with the Sun upright, the Page of Cups upright, the 4 of Cups reversed, the 8 of Wands reversed, and the Knight of Cups upright. So here's this energy with the Page of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Sun all upright. But after the pain, the sunshine comes. The Page of Cups starts over in a heated exchange, or perhaps holding back their feelings, not really being forthright with their desires, with the Knight of Cups upright from the past. The King of Swords given a choice, or twin flames co-creating, or celebrating at work. Dumping multiple loads, or throwing back some drinks, no longer confused about full exposure, or group dumping drinks on the King of Swords. And that could be a negative thing or a positive thing, right? If they're celebrating something. At 1022, which is the Wheel and the Fool's Journey. So at 26, which is the Page of Wands, the Empress is at work, ending pain, energizing, exposing. And the Page of Cups starting over, not expressing their true desires, with the Knight of Cups looking back at the King of Swords, given a choice, service, holiday, or function gathering, to purge and expose, to grieve or celebrate, child or children, Leo or pet, in a split divide or one big lie, moving to peace or peaceful travels, to end a nightmare with the King of Pentacles reversed, stuck ending pain or dealing with a betrayal, where there's no way around it, that you need some balls to move on, finally sleeping, unable to move, paralyzed after a long day in pain or a painful ending, or ending it getting a massage. So following your dreams, and beneath that was compassion, with the recent past being the Seven of Pentacles, or the Divine Feminine's heart. With the Ten of Cups, happy family, tempted to let go and come clean, or clean up their act or space. The Page of Wands and the Queen of Cups both reversed here, two out in the cold perhaps, or after a death, or just dead tired. And the Sovereign upright working as usual. The foundation is the Two of Cups in the past. The Page of Cups needing attention and pushing buttons to trigger ego or awaken the King of Cups reversed, wounded warrior who may be on guard. And now the King of Cups reversed could be with a wounded warrior who's separate from him as well. They may not be seeing eye to eye here, the Page of Cups and the King of Cups reversed, which can be a father and child. It could also be siblings that have a big age difference. It could be friends, but they're both very much emotional energies, or water signs, with Pisces or Capricorn in their charts, perhaps Sagittarius or Cancer as well, or three people here, Pisces reversed, Cancer upright, and Saggy reversed, perhaps one the Saggy reverse could be the Queen of Wands reversed. The central energy here is the Moon, Luna, romance, subconscious, the Knight or Cancer, being strong, working and taking care of a pet, a child, or Leo. The Six of Cups upright, or a soul tie, the twin flame or kids loving each other, showing affection, and the injustice of a patient angel or Cancer Leo that are both upright, and Sag, but Libra's reversed here. The challenge being the Eight of Pentacles upright with the Ten of Pentacles upright, which is a very, positive work energy, very abundant. And that could be a large company as well. Being more creative or getting organized or getting your ducks in a row at a big company, or maybe it's a big family of abundance, or the community. Some kind of gathering here of work, or Thanksgiving, right, which is a lot of work. With the Magician upright, divorced, and again, we have Halloween today, so that could be coming up as well, right? It's the same kind of preparation thing. With the Magician upright, perhaps divorced, and trapped by the Knight of Swords upright, or deliverance. Somebody might be getting a lot of deliveries as well. Gemini, Virgo upright, and Taurus reversed here, with the Messenger of Truth to set them free. And now crowning is the Knight of Wands reversed, falling short, the Fool free from one who's sad, or a quest to separate, or battling for a heart or transplant, or just a broken heart, or stress and depressed, or the need to heal, with the Page of Pentacles reversed, not seeing eye to eye with the Queen of Pentacles upright, or at a distance from each other. So here now is a masculine father and child energy who are not getting along of Cups, and here is a Pentacles energy family of the mother and child not getting along. Or they may be at a distance with the King of Pentacles upright and the Knight of Wands reversed in the past, or with the Knight of Wands reversed looking back at juggling the Divine Feminine's heart, or reaping rewards with the Empress reversed, starting over, no longer bored anyway. Or the King of Pentacles falling short in the past in a balancing act to save for the Empress reverse, starting over, and needing to ground and integrate how to receive love. Maybe they're always the one giving it. And soon here's the Five of Swords reversed, war over, no longer juggling 3 with 2 saved for later, done stretching and growing after a poor choice, after a sudden event, epiphany, and coming full circle, with Aquarius and Scorpio reversed, and Pisces or Divine Feminine upright, the Knight of Cups is offering love or a ride or wanting to travel together at 1107 of Justice and the Chariot. Scorpio is reversed, Pisces is upright here, in an offer to Cancer perhaps to drop their burdens. At 1107, the twin flames seeing themselves as the King of Wands upright. The shaman lovers defenseless to the energies of walking away to grieve or unable to rest at night. Lovers without an excuse, perhaps they need one or perhaps they don't, and rising above or awakening and coming out to howl at the moon since it's Halloween. Gemini and Cancer or twin flame romance here. Around the twins or how they're seen is the King of Cups reversed, being offered a passion project from the Emperor upright and the King of Wands upright, with the Queen of Wands reversed with the Page of Swords reversed hanging over their heads or weighing on them at 1120 of Justice and Judgment. Or the Emperor is the King of Cups reversed, partnering up with the King of Wands to offer a project or passing of the baton, so to speak. Or the King of Wands is getting the Emperor to do it. Or the King of Wands is skipping over the Emperor. And this came up in my other read, right? Where someone's breaching their authority, right? Reaching over the Emperor and doing it themselves. So this can come up as that as well. The King of Cups skipping over the Emperor to give his wand to the King of Cups reversed, whether the Queen of Wands reversed and the Page of Swords reversed like it or not at 1128, which is Justice and the Twins, or choice of path. Or the King of Wands and Emperor are wanting to give back to himself. So the King of Wands and Emperor are both giving to the King of Wands. That could be another fire sign as well. But not the King of Cups reversed, because he's reversed, right? He may have issues of detachment or over-emotionalism or alcoholism or depression. And the Queen of Wands reversed and the Page of Swords reversed, who may also be ungrateful. So they don't want to, to feed into that. The block here is the Ace of Swords reversed in a split, a lie, or divide, keeping to self about moving or settling on a house for themselves. We have love, manifestation, and even more so here is abundance. The shadow, temptation, with the Empress reverse starting over. Capricorn, King of Pentacles, may be satisfied in a heated exchange with the Queen of Swords, ending the war with the High Priestess, or Secret Keeper, or Pisces, or Child with secrets. And the King of Pentacles may be saving, withholding, or playing hardball out in the cold with the Hermit reversed, over isolating or going crazy, or coming out with or about higher self and dumping their burdens, or confessing and feeling freed, or is now free, destined to be the 10 of Pentacles upright and the 9 of Pentacles upright family. With Capricorn and Pisces, Libra, Aries upright, Taurus and Virgo reversed here. And when I say reversed, it can be negative energies, but it also can just mean that it's in their chart, but it's not their sun sign. Or maybe it's not their rising sign. And Capricorn and Pisces, or the King of Pentacles and higher self, are out in the cold together, dumping their responsibilities and their burdens, or dumping a load or taking a load off with the 10 of Pentacles family, business, or community, and the 9 of Pentacles sovereign, or heaven on earth, and their own sovereignty at 1139, which is Justice and the Knight of Cups. So past disconnect or distance with the King of Wands upright and the King of Cups reversed, reaping rewards at night, challenged by working to end a war, divide, split, dispute, or lie, with the Knight of Wands reversed, shadow, and the King of Pentacles upright, leaving behind the higher self, taking a load off, or confessing to the 10 of Pentacles and 9 of Pentacles, family, business, or community. And 9 and 10 of Pentacles are the epitome of the single person and the epitome of the family. The Knight of Cups is upright, looking back at the Divine Feminine's heart at a distance, romanced by the Knight of Wands reverse player, or someone falling short, perhaps on energy, maybe they had good intentions, and the challenge being work, or the King of Wands post-war, or the need to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid, that kind of energy, and the King of Cups reverse lying or dividing or conquering with the shadow, so it could be divide and conquer type of energy here, with the shadow, King of Pentacles, the Hermit in exile with higher self, taking a load off to set them free with or as the Ten of Pentacles and Nine of Pentacles family. And that ended at 1144. The justice and alignment of the 44, which is the grounding, integrating, and mastering of how to receive love, the social worker energy of Atlas, or Hercules, her harvest. So it's coming up as the harvest. And that can reference the feminine too, because my soul number is 11. My life lesson number is the 44. So that's just as extra information that may be referencing the divine feminine as opposed to the masculine. Okay, so let's just pull a few oracle cards to close up here at 110. Let's pull a wild unknown card. I haven't done that for a bit. And after this, I have to make dinner. So here we go. What is our takeaway from the messages today? So your higher self is watching. So again, this is a reminder too that you're not living for one, you're living for two people. Your higher self, so remember to stay tuned in to your inner child and your higher self. That can be Big Brother for somebody, but it is a positive energy here. It's not the reptilian energy. In this deck, it'll show you the slit eye for the reptilian energy. But this is the dragon and the unicorn, the higher self, and the one with their third eye opened, or the etheric gate holder here. And then we have the oyster, right, who's clammed up, right? The pearl is being created within, and it must be almost ready because their feelers are out. And there's the fox coming in. They're noticing that their pearl's almost ready. That's really funny. Okay. The bottom of the deck is the whale, right, which is very profound, wise energy, but they're exhausted. They look like they're on a raft, even though this is probably just part of the whale. They look like they're on a raft, but they need a lifeline because there's a lot of dark energy here. Perhaps they just can't keep up clearing this amount of energy anymore. They're just getting tired. And there's the phoenix rising and falling, right? Is very much the energy of the eagle, right? Or the masculine even, like showing off for the feminine. And Teddy's very much been doing that recently this week. Is starting to show off. And again, that coming of age kind of energy. The display of the masculine to show his prowess to the feminine. And then here is the whale. This could be the feminine saying, I'm too old for this stuff. That's really funny. And there's the elephant. There's very profound energies here at the bottom of the deck. All right, we have the elephant, very wise and benevolent. The phoenix rising here. And then the whale at the bottom of the sea, right? The two biggest animals on earth, the whale and the elephant. And then the rising of both of them, right? Of land and sea, of coming together and diving and rising together. Very much the energy of the eagles. Is that a Philadelphia plug? I don't know. Okay, so again, these are the cards that came out for you guys. That was some beautiful energy there. And I was just getting I'm looking at the stones I was just showing. I'm getting Stonehenge. I don't know what's going on over there either. I'm going to pull from my Ascension deck since the Journey of Love was in the read today. Hi, Teddy. I'm still busy. You have to wait a minute. Thank you, sweetheart. All right, so this is the Ascension deck. And we have the Amethyst Skull. So you'll be accessing a Akashic Records. We have 21 of completion, coming full circle. This says, during the golden era of Atlantis, each of the high priests and priestesses of the 12 tribes fashioned a crystal skull that was an advanced computer and programmed it with the knowledge and wisdom held by their tribe. All the information was placed into the amethyst master skull, which is kept safely in the inner planes. Receiving this card suggests you look for the highest perspective in a situation that presents itself to you. Explore the details, and when you have all the facts, take decisions with both wisdom and integrity. The affirmation is, I explore all the information before I take a decision. And again, this is the 21 card, so it's really coming full circle after reviewing everything you've been through. And that came up in the read as well. And we have Lemurian healing. I'm having trouble talking. I don't know what Mercury's doing right now, but okay. So you can read that if you like. It says, send Lemurian healing to Earth. And again, the 5th dimension. And then the bottom of the deck here is Pallas Athena, number 48. Again, this is the underlying energy. It's going away, but it's the underlying energy of the 48 walking away within. The affirmation is, I use the sword of truth to lead the way. So regarding truth and wisdom again, which we were just talking about, the Pallas Athena is the Lord of Karma for the 4th ray. So there's the 4 again that came up by itself, the number 4 card, and holds the sword of truth to show humanity the way. Although she wields her sword for the highest ideals and divine truth, she prefers to use wisdom to settle disputes. So again, the Queen of Swords and Lady Liberty also, right? She doesn't like to use violence, but if she has to cut you, she will. Your guidance is to follow her example. See the higher perspective in all areas of conflict. Draw on your abundance of wisdom and tact to communicate with everyone concerned, and use the sword of truth to point the divine way forward. Okay? So very good. I hope you're all doing well. Have an amazing Halloween. We don't usually get many people by my house. There's no houses on the other side of the street. So anyway, enjoy yourselves. Remember your water. Water's been coming up really big. Remember to hydrate. I forget to drink enough water too. So just always as a reminder, and get your rest, your joy, your nature. Breathe the fresh air. Put your feet out in the grass, ground, take a salt bath, whatever you like to do. And as always, rise and be love, or love and rise. I'll see you guys soon. It's in their eyes. Bye.